Falcha! What time is it right now that you're watching this video? I'm filming it at 2 in the afternoon and it's so dark that I'm having to use the room lighting and assisted lighting. I hate this time of year when it comes to light. But if you're like me, you probably do a lot of your YouTube watching round about dinner time. I like to do it before I get creative, which is at night. When I was younger, this used to be a huge problem for my parents, who like to go to bed as early as humanly possible. They're not even that old. I know, but these things are not simply a choice. Today, I'm going to be exploring circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythms are physical, mental, and behavioural. I knew I would not say it properly. Circadian rhythms are physical, mental, and behavioural changes that follow a 24-hour cycle. It fascinates me when the body is in sync with time because we invented time. I know that days existed before we chopped them up into hours, minutes, and seconds, but it's still wild. Imagine being the first person to propose time. Like, how would you even describe that to someone? Anyway, these natural processes respond to the change in dark and light in most living things, including animals, plants, and microbes. Obviously, I am a microbe. Circadian rhythms can affect a lot of functions, including hormone release, eating habits, and body temperature. But the most telling signal of your circadian rhythm is your sleeping pattern. Within our brains, we have what is called a suprachiasmatic nucleus, also known as the master clock. The master clock is a group of about 20,000 nerve cells that receive direct input from the eyes. So in this sense, your circadian rhythm is influenced by light. Before electricity, the variety of sleep patterns were pretty low. In a Scottish afternoon, you probably feel like going to sleep right now because it's so dark. But now that we use electricity to continue our productivity well into the night, our variety of circadian rhythms has changed. So if anyone's ever described themselves as an early bird or a night owl, this is actually what they're talking about. I'm going to stop apologising for not being a morning person and start telling people that when they want me to function in the morning, they're disrupting my circadian rhythm. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I want people to like me. When talking about circadian rhythm, I've seen people reference chronotypes, which is 4 varieties of sleep pattern. I kind of take issue with it because at a glance, I don't fit any of them. And also, I like to think of a lot of things in life as a spectrum. I don't think there are 4 sleep patterns that everybody fits into. Surely there's an infinite array of sleep cycles. The first chronotype is the bear, which apparently most people are. Bears' sleep and wake cycle goes according to the sun. Bear chronotypes wake easily and typically fall asleep with no problem. Productivity seems best before noon, and they're prone to the post-lunch dip between 2 and 4 p.m. Then there's the wolf, which does actually come close to my sleep pattern, but kind of falls short also. This chronotype often has trouble waking up in the morning. Wolf chronotypes feel more energetic when they wake up at noon, especially since their peak productivity starts at noon and ends about 4 hours later. Wolf types also get another boost around 6 p.m, and they find they can get a lot done while everyone else is done for the day. I do like to wake up a little bit later, and I do also get my boost of energy later on, but it's not at 6 p.m, it's usually at 10 p.m, so this doesn't really fit for me. Then there's the lion, which is so similar to the bear that I'm not really sure why these are separate things. Lion chronotypes like to rise early in the morning. They may easily wake up before dawn and are at their best up until noon. Typically, lion types wind down in the evening and end up falling asleep by 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. And what? That's just the bear. That's just the bear. Then there's the dolphin, which says, if you have trouble following any sleep schedule, then you may be a dolphin. So your options are wake at dawn, wake at 9 a.m, wake at 12 p.m, or you just don't fit any of the categories. Like, those are the only 3 times that people wake up. If you've ever woken up not at one of those times, you're a dolphin. I don't get why they don't just make more categories. Like, surely a lot of people don't feel that they fit these. Dolphins often don't get enough sleep due to their sensitivity to different disturbing factors like noise and light. They have a peak productivity window from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m, which is a great time to get things done. Yeah, so none of these fit me. So I turned to another way to identify your circadian rhythm, which is a little bit more natural than taking a quiz, and that is to just observe when you naturally sleep. So this can only be observed when you don't force yourself to wake up, so you can't have any alarms or you can't be getting up for something. You kind of just have to observe what your body would do if you had no obligation to get out of bed. So yeah, you have to kind of do it when you're off work. And what I find interesting is that throughout my life, I've had periods of time where I would naturally wake up when I needed to for work anyway, but that's because my body had gotten into the pattern and it knew roughly that it needed to be awake at this point of time, and so I kind of fell into a rhythm where I knew that I needed to get up. So by removing the obligation to wake up, you can figure out what your natural circadian rhythm is. And fortunately, working as a freelancer all summer allowed me to do this. I would naturally wake up around 11 a.m. I immediately took a shower and then got ready for the day. Then from about 12 p.m, I would do some admin, answer emails, do a bit of housework, go shopping if I needed to, and go for my daily walk. Then in the evening, I would make dinner, watch some YouTube, or if I was following a show, like watch some episodes of it. And then at night, I would get creative, so editing, writing, and just generally doing any work I needed to. I know I said in a past video that I didn't want to spend all of my evenings and weekends working, but what I mean by that is just my extra free time. And in an optimal day, I would move everything around so that I was working whilst I was most creative, which is at night, and I was spending my free time during the day. Being a freelancer, I had no obligation to work between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m, and the way that I did it was what felt most natural to me. Fortunately, at the moment, I have a full-time job where I work from home. Unfortunately, I don't get to wake up at 11 a.m. I wake up at 9:30, so it's not that far off really. I do have to bring my productivity forward quite a bit, but it's okay. I still get everything done that I need to do. I still have time in the evening for dinner and enjoying YouTube, and I still have time at night to be creative and work on personal projects. And seeing people. That's something that I don't factor into my day. Interesting. That introvert urge to just never see another human face to face. I'm really fortunate that my day-to-day isn't that far from my natural circadian rhythm, because if you push against it a lot, it can have pretty intense consequences. According to Aura, if your lifestyle is chronically misaligned with your circadian rhythm, it can negatively impact your immune, reproductive, gastrointestinal, hormonal, and cardiovascular systems. Even getting a full night's sleep may result in a poor distribution of sleep stages if your sleep period occurs at a suboptimal time for your chronotype. And honestly, this really explains why I couldn't deal with school. In general, it is cruelty to force teenagers who are going through puberty and spending a lot of energy growing to haul themselves up in the morning, get on a bus, shuttle along to this cold, horrible building, sit there in a dull environment and listen to an adult talk. Who came up with that? When I was at school, I really struggled in the mornings, and it definitely had an effect on my ability to learn. I also went through something similar when I worked shifts. The inconsistent timings meant that because I didn't really have a pattern to follow, I spent a lot of my free time recovering, and even if I got 12 hours sleep, I'd still feel really drained. It's a shame that the world puts early birds, or bears/lions if you will, at an advantage. Most jobs have set hours based on when daylight is, or well, should be. I guess knowing what your circadian rhythm is a start, and it means that you can start to form your life around it to make things easier. Maybe now that the world works in different ways, there's room for more flexible hours. I've actually always quite liked a 9 to 5 because it forced me to do work during those hours that I was productive but not at my peak. And then I would have the evening to myself when I'm super creative to do what I wanted to do. And honestly, whatever works is how you should live your life. Thank you for watching today's video. If you know anyone else who would enjoy this content, then please share it with them. Try to find out what your chronotype is, and if you don't identify with any of them, then join me in creating more. Let's be baby orcas who don't sleep at all apparently, and are actually dolphins. Did you know that killer whales are dolphins? I always thought they were whales, but apparently they are called killer whales because they kill whales. Killer whales. Killer whales. Killer whales? I hardly know her. Or however you want to share it is fine. See you next time.